It is Thursday, October 13th, 2022. This is your host, Carlos Enrique Huitica Guzman Chivo Cabello, and this is episode number 80. Y'all ready for this? Here we go. Come on. Hey. Welcome back to the Human Hope Podcast with your host. You know it. We're back. I'm back. Oh, Lord, have mercy. The last time I came to you with an episode of the Human Hope Podcast, it was coming from the Bottle Works Hotel in downtown Indianapolis. I was there for an incredible conference and was there speaking at EdgeX, but I busted out my little podcast gear and I put together a little podcast for you guys and gals. Going back to what happened the day before, we were 24 hours in to the Giving Blitz, where we blessed Brandon, Josh, and Phyllis. And it was, I was moving. If you haven't listened to last week's podcast, stop this one right now and go back and listen to that one, because their stories, I mean, what a way to come back from sabbatical. Look, I know it took me a couple weeks, but I'm still blown away. And I continue to learn more and more about their story. I continue to learn more and more about who they are. Phyllis and I talk every other day. Brandon and I talk maybe every 3 days. Josh and I, Josh had a tragedy in his family. I don't think I told you. I can't remember if I told you guys last week, but the day after we raised the money for Josh, he found out that his brother had passed away. So there's just, it's just a lot. And I thought today that it could almost kind of just be like, it's just gonna be me and you. And I just kind of want to unpack some things. Unpack some things as to why we, the Human Hope family and the Insta Familia, do the things that we do. Maybe lean into some questions I have about all of it. If I'm not asking questions about why it is we're doing what we do, then I think I'm not leading correctly. I think every leader needs to be asking why. I mean, I ask why about every single thing in my life constantly. Why am I doing that as a father? Why am I doing that as a husband? Why am I such a bad friend? So yeah, today's just going to be kind of vulnerable day. And I'm going to be asking you some questions that maybe you can help me with. First of all, this has been a lot more difficult of a giving blitz than any other giving blitz that I've done. The reason being is because the recipients of this blitz don't necessarily have the resources to be able to get the money as quickly as everyone else. Now, let's just look at them all. All right. I'm going to pull open my Instagram, and I'm going to open my highlights, and I'm looking. I'm going to go back to Insta Familia 6 was Melody. Melody, although was not in a great financial situation, had a smartphone, had a job. Larry, my friend who died of COVID, who we raised money while he was alive in the hospital for Jessica, his beautiful wife, and 2 kids. They didn't have healthcare. They weren't very well off financially, but they had iPhones. My friend Mary, we put together a bunch of money and she took it and donated it to the kids at the 4-H club. They all had the availability to just, go to the bank and do that. Tony, playing piano at the airport, checking account. Wife has a great job. He's got problems. But even Tony, with his defunct, messed up, can't even figure out how to work a phone. Tony, rest your soul, bro. I know I'm going to get to heaven and you're going to be like, Carlos, man, tell me how to work this phone here in heaven. That's just how Tony was, right? He had a phone, checking account. Brooklyn to Alaska, nonprofit. Obviously, they had checking accounts. Chanel, back to the Insta Familia Giving Blitz #1. Yeah, smartphone, checking account, husband's in the military. So things are really easy. And then I came across these 3 incredible angels. And here's the deal. They are working at the Atlanta airport as many hours they can a week. And they do not make a living wage, which in turn doesn't allow them to have the same amount of opportunity to get out of the cycle of whatever financial situation they're trying to get out of. Some of them didn't have checking accounts, so you get a checking account. Some of them didn't have smartphones that could have Venmo, so you do that you have to get a smartphone with Venmo. You have to get the money to get a phone that can get Venmo. So if you don't, then as you heard last week, Miss Betty, who was sitting there with Brandon, is helping. She's the manager, so she's able to. But the more I started looking at this stuff, the more I started realizing, there's like in some of these neighborhoods, there's not even a bank in walking distance from their apartments. And they can't afford to just be getting in cabs every day. So they got to do public transportation. Brandon called me the other night. He worked at 6 a.m. He was on his way to the airport at 11 p.m. because that was the only time he could get there. So he was going to sleep in the airport on one of the benches. That's what all the customers do. And he'll just wake up in the morning. And I just started thinking like, man, we take for granted the privilege that we have to just do some of the simple things. And I just don't want that to slip by us as we feel good about giving money, which I think we should, but it shouldn't just stop there. Right. So, I asked on my Instagram this week, I don't know if I can even play this or not. If I can find the archive of it, I'll play it. But, I asked this week, I asked very specifically, who can help me? And I got a little emotional. No, Carlos got emotional. You're kidding. Yeah, I did. Okay, so I'm going to play this for you. And I want you to know where my heart was on Monday morning when I was trying my hardest. I'd spent about 8 hours trying to get this money to our friends. And it just wasn't as easy because they don't have what we all have, the resources available to them. Let's see if this will play. Listen to this.
Buenos dias, Insta Familia. Coming to you from sunny, well, actually not so sunny, Southern California. I've got a busy day today, 3 podcasts and a TV appearance talking about you and the good you do, and also helping Phyllis, Brandon, and Josh. What's quite clear is the inconsistencies and availability to financial resources here in America. And when I say resources, I'm not talking about the finances. I'm talking about, there's a lot of people that go to work for a gross amount of money. When I mean disgusting. Disgustingly low amount of money. And then they take their paper checks to a check cashing place, take that cash, go to a landlord that only accepts cash, and they've got to live on cash. And we forget how privileged we are. If you're watching this, you have a smartphone, how expensive this phone is, and how you have the ability to just transfer money between checks. Some people don't even have checking accounts. So my eyes are open to the work that has to be done beyond just gifting this. we're not a community that just raises money, gifts it to people, and forget about them. When we raised over $100,000 for Melody, who lost her husband and her baby in the same day, you made sure that for a year after, continue to reach out to her. We're not doing this for the sake of, make people feel good and go viral for a moment and just use people that are in need for the sake of clicks. Like, that's not what we're doing. For the long haul. And so I'm in this for the long haul for Phyllis, Brandon, and Josh. I'm getting emotional because it takes more than just giving people money. So I need some help from my friends in Atlanta, because I don't want to just give them this and leave them alone. Hang on, I got to recover. Hold on. I've tried to recover for 3 minutes, and I don't know if I can, but so I may keep crying. But Atlanta, I've already found a great team of real estate agents that are willing to donate their cost to helping our friends find somewhere to live. Secondly, I'm looking for like a financial, someone that very specifically focuses on the underprivileged that can coach them financially. If you know anyone like that, put it in this answer box. Number 3, I'm looking for the possibility of somebody that has employment opportunity in Atlanta that offers living wages. I'm telling you, man, the fact that Georgia's minimum wage, it's criminal. It's criminal what it's at. So if you or somebody you know has the just ability to even interview these friends, let me know here. And gosh, they just mean so much to me. And I want them to feel seen past giving them money. So my DMs don't get filled. If any of those apply to you, email me right here. Carlos@carloswhitaker.com. Okay, man.
Okay, this is back to future Carlos. No, current Carlos. Yeah, so there I was crying in my rental car in a parking lot in Southern California. And it's funny. I mean, the emotions just came flying out of nowhere, but I think it was kind of mixed by a couple things where all that came from. Like, I really do want all of us to care for our 3 new friends, like beyond the money. Right. And so, yeah, even if you're a Human Hope listener and you have any of those things, could you email me at carlos@carloswhitaker.com. 2 T's. carlos@carloswhitaker.com. I'm looking for help. But then I think, I start thinking about a lot of the other, sometimes I'll see just kind of other videos online, and I'm the last person that needs to be judging somebody's heart. But I need everyone to know that we don't do, the Insta Familia does not do this for the clicks. We don't do this for the views. Nobody's getting paid off views. I don't have no YouTube videos, none of that, no advertising, none of that. Like, this is literally because we are supposed to be the hands and feet of Jesus and help people. And it's just what I want to do. I want to be pure in our help. And okay, there's my first little soapbox of the podcast. We will transition to another soapbox, but before we do that, let's hop into a quick word from one of our partners. Now, a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. It can be tough to train your brain to stay in problem-solving mode, right? Like, you got to stay in that mode, right? I'm constantly in problem-solving mode, but I can't always focus and get there. One of the things I love about therapy is it doesn't necessarily just have to be like, oh my gosh, I am like down and out in my feelings. I'm like super anxious. Actually, a therapist can help you problem solve. Like my therapist helps me even become better at my problem solving skills, right? They can help me become a better problem solver, making it easy to accomplish my goals. That is something that I don't think a lot of people think about when it comes to therapy. And that's what I love to do with my therapist. I have enjoyed therapy and when I say I enjoy it because it actually helps me become a better human. And I've been in therapy for over 20 years. That's right. I have my 20-year therapy badge on and I love it. So here's the deal. If you're thinking about giving therapy a try BetterHelp. Okay, it's a great option. It's convenient, accessible, affordable, and entirely online. You can get matched with a therapist after filling out a brief survey and switch therapists at any time. When you want to be a better problem solver, therapy can get you there. Visit BetterHelp.com/humanhope and get 10% off your first month. That is BetterHelp.com/humanhope. Now back to the show. All right, fam. Sorry about that little soapbox moment, but I needed everybody to hear that, not just my Insta familia. I needed my Human Hope familia to hear me as well. So kind of staying along. I mean, this is like a really, really wide left turn here, or maybe sharp left turn, but it does have something to do with this. People constantly ask me, this is something I've never talked about before. Carlos, like, how do you just film yourself walking around in the airport? Like, aren't you self-conscious? Like, isn't it weird? And you know, what's funny is like, I would never have raised all the money I have raised. We never would have raised all the money we have raised if I would have had looked at myself and been like, that's a little cringy. That is a little cringy, Los. You know, that's a little cringy. I don't know if you should do that because yes, it has taken work for me to feel self-confident enough to walk around airports and film myself. But you know what? I think, I am Mr. late 40s Carlitos. And the biggest thing that is on my heart these days when I am thinking about what other people think about me, the biggest thing that's on my heart is I don't care. And maybe it took until I was in my late 40s. And you know what? I praise God for that, but I just don't know more. People can look at me all they want. They can talk about me. Man, they ain't going to remember who I am 5 minutes later. Right? Even the people that you think are talking about you aren't even talking about you. Even the people that you think are thinking about you, they're not thinking about you right now. A little FYI, but the person right now that you're thinking is thinking about you and you're like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe that they think that about me. I wish I could prove myself to them. All those things. You're spending all this energy thinking about somebody that, can I tell you, they ain't thinking about you. They're not. So instead of you thinking about them thinking about you, which ain't happening, start thinking about yourself. Start thinking about who it is you want to be and go be that person, and like in the airports, right? Like as I'm walking around filming myself, just talking to my phone and people looking at me, guess what? I know the end result. The end result is that people's lives are going to be changed because I'm not scared no more of making a fool of myself. I'm not scared anymore of feeling cringy. Oh my gosh. A friend of mine put this quote on their Instagram today. Let me find it. Oh my gosh, it was so good. Oh yes. Okay. So I don't know who originally said this because there's no like, when you're supposed to like tell somebody, or quote somebody, like say who said it. Oh, the dude didn't say who said it. So, and I kind of looked it up and I couldn't find it. So maybe you guys can tell me who said this. And then I can tell you next week. But as of right now, I don't know who said it, but this quote is me in the airport. Okay. And it needs to be you in whatever it is that you feel called to do. Don't kill the part of you that's cringe, comma, kill the part of you that cringes. Oh, Lord, come on, somebody. Let me say that again. Don't kill the part of you that's cringe. Kill the part of you that cringes. Oh my gosh. Now listen, obviously there are parameters to this, but the heart of it, I think, is what I want us to get to, right? Josh, Brandon, Phyllis, none of them ever would have been blessed by you had I not killed the part that cringes instead of killing the part that's cringe. Now, cringe is a noun in this moment, okay? But does that make sense? Do I need to like unpack that a little bit more? You know, there exists a fine line between, oh man, that is real cringy, and oh my gosh, that's brilliant. You know, so many great artists like live on that fine line. So many world changers live on that fine line because, you know, the part that's cringe, yeah, if it ends up being super cringy, you probably want to change it. But if you're right to the edge of cringe and you're thinking, no, this cringe may change somebody's life, then the part of you that is judging yourself, because that's what it is. Don't kill the part of you that is like, you know, this super risky person that's taking all these risks that may or may not pan out, but if they do, it's going to change somebody's life. Don't kill the risk taker. Kill the part of you. Obviously, don't kill the part of you, but silence the part of you that is like, no, don't do it. Don't take the risk. Don't take the risk. Oh my gosh. Do you know how many lives are waiting to be changed on the other side of you not saying, oh, I'm cringy? Yeah, I mean, do you know? It's a lot. There's so many dreams that are waiting to come true for you. You just have to get past the cringe. Stop cringing. Stop it. Everybody, count to 3 and say, I'm going to stop cringe. I'm going to stop being cringy at myself. Godless. Stop, you know? I mean, I've been doing this for a long time, right? You go back a couple episodes ago with John Acuff, like I've been kind of like on the edge of cringy my whole life. Okay. My whole life. You know, it was funny the other day, after that John episode, speaking of cringy, after that John episode, he talked about Bickle Day. Do you guys remember? He talked about Bickle Day. And actually, if you've read my book, Moment Maker, there's a glimpse into it. But I've never really unpacked what that day was, right? And it was cringy. And you know what's so hilarious about that day is that it was a day that I was like, I went over the top. I was like super hopeless romantic, went over the top for a girlfriend of mine at the time. And it was cringy. It was cringy for everybody. And somebody that listens to this podcast reached out to ex-girlfriend. And I got a DM that to be honest with you, was very confused about. I actually had forgotten that John and I had even brought Bickle Day up, cringy day for Carlos. I'm going to explain to you what it was in a second. And so I just got a DM saying, hey, can you tell me, like, was Bickle Day like a bad thing? And I was like, wait, where's this coming from? And then they mentioned John, and I was like, who's John? And then it all made sense. And I was like, oh my gosh, John and I mentioned Bickle Day. But this is a great example of how who I am now never would have happened had I not been cringy back then. Okay. I was in love with a girl named, and I'm not putting her first name on here. I'm going to bleep that out. Just because she don't need nobody looking her up to be like, yo, how cringy was Carlos? But, you know, hopeless romantic. And I think I was like 19 or 20. I was in college, and I still can't believe I was as over the top as I was. I thought to myself, because I started feeling like, oh my gosh, like she doesn't like me as much, and I really like her. And I was like, you know what's going to help her like me is if I Photoshop her face and place it all over campus so that the next day, everybody can see her face and she can know how much I love her. That, I don't even have to go any farther. And you guys are like, holy crap. Yeah, I did that 20 plus years ago. And at the end of the day, you know, I did all these things, filled her car with peeps and heart balloons and her, all that to say, at the end of the day, come to find out, like any other rational human being, female that was dating a crazy person like Carlos, she wasn't really into the craziness. She wasn't into the cringiness. And I fell flat on my face because I thought that stepping up to that line was the right thing to do. And it was the wrong thing to do. And I failed. I failed. And oh my gosh, the guys on my dorm room floor were making fun of me. Like, I just remember crying myself to sleep. I was like, oh my God, I've ruined my life because I was cringy. And you know what it almost did to me? Can I tell you? It almost caused me to stop stepping up to the line of cringe. It did. And my own falling on my face in cringe land almost stopped me from stepping up to the line of cringy. But if I would have stopped chasing after big experiences and moments, just because I struck out on that one. I struck out on a lot more before that. Okay. I mean, listen, I was a mess. Did I ever tell you about the time that no, I'm not going to tell you that one. That stays in the vault. But all that to say, I look at my life now and these big moments that I make, and I think, you know what? I'm just older, I'm wiser, and I'm not as cringy, but I've stopped judging myself. And I've stopped shaming myself. And I think some of you listening to this podcast need to do that as well too. Some of you guys have stopped taking risks because you've messed up real big in the past doing something that you're passionate about. And because you messed up in the past, you've stopped taking risks and you stopped doing the exact thing that you're passionate about doing. And I'm here to tell you, it's time to get back to doing it. It's time to stop shaming yourself. Stop shitting on yourself. I should have. Stop shitting. Shoulding, okay? Tiny ears can hear this. SHOULD, should. Stop shitting on yourself. I should have done this. No. Just get back to it. Get back to risking. Get back to making great experiences. Get back to stop caring what people think. If you're doing something that you really feel like is going to change the world, go for it. There's my second soapbox. And I got a third soapbox that's coming. This is like the soapbox episode. I got a third one coming at you right after this break from hearing from two of our partners. Here we go. All right, this first partner is a new partner. A round of applause for new partners here at Human Hope. And this is one that I know some of you are actually needing right now. So if it's cool, I want to introduce you to our new partner. Ready? It is United Faith Mortgage, okay? It's a mortgage company that a buddy of mine recently introduced me to. And listen, I know sometimes mortgages are like, like boring, right? But like out of all the boring mortgage companies, this is the least boringest of them all, okay? Because they got this thing called Direct Lender Advantage, and it is going to make them top of the list for me. Let me explain. The mortgage team is called United Faith Mortgage, and it was started by a dad and his son and his wife and her sister, and they've actually grown to be one of the largest, most trusted, faith-focused mortgage teams across the country. Now, the cool thing is with this team, it's family run, okay? And so it gives it like a small, personal, high care feel, but they also have big financial backing. They're an arm of a bigger company who is a direct lender, which means they use their own money. There's no middleman, which for you, it means that they can often get you a way better rate, saving you monthly and lifelong money. So listen, if you're gonna think about buying like a home, a condo, an igloo, whatever it may be, don't miss out on United Faith Mortgage and their direct lender advantage. Okay, head to UnitedFaithMortgage.com. United Faith Mortgage is a DBA of United Mortgage Corp, Melville, New York. For licensing information, go to nmlsconsumeraccess.org. NMLS number 1330, equal housing lender. Not licensed in Alaska, Hawaii, Georgia, North Dakota, Dakota, South Dakota, and Utah. Our next partner, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful for. I have had the hardest time finding a particular specialist, which I ain't going to tell y'all about, which I need here in Nashville, Tennessee, because I can't find a doctor that I trust. Guess what? I can now with ZocDoc. ZocDoc, that is ZocDoc. I used it and I found my specialist. ZocDoc is a free app that shows you doctors who are patient reviewed, take your insurance, and are available when you need them. On ZocDoc, you can find every specialist under the sun, whether you're trying to straighten those teeth, fix that achy back, get that mole checked out, or that specialist that Carlos needed that you're never going to know. And also, ZocDoc's mobile app is as easy as ordering a ride to a restaurant or getting delivery to your house. You can search, find, and book doctors with a few taps. Okay? Find and review local doctors. Read verified patient reviews from real people who made real appointments. Go to ZocDoc.com/human-hope. Go right now and download the ZocDoc app for free. Then start your search for a top-rated doctor today. Many are available within 24 hours. That is ZocDoc.com/human-hope. ZocDoc.com/human-hope. All right, so this last one's not a soapbox. It is. I'm probably going to cry again, and I just need us. I need to know if you had the same thought I did. Two thoughts. I had two thoughts when the beautiful, brilliant, stunning Angela Lansbury passed away. She passed away, and I had a couple thoughts. Well, first of all, I need you to hear her singing with the Mormon Tabernacle Choir, Beauty and the Beast. You know what's funny is, like, I don't know, when did Beauty and the Beast come out? I mean, let's see, Beauty and the Beast, 1991, 1990 freaking 2001, 2011, 2021. So 32 years ago, 32 years ago, she was Miss Potts and still sounded like the most perfect old lady, British old lady ever. And that was 30 years ago. And this clip is of her singing, I don't know, maybe 6 years ago. It could be 16 years ago. You could probably correct me on this, but nonetheless, it's her singing this live, and it just gave me all the feels. Here we go.
As old as time,
This one just hits different.
true as it can be. Barely even friends, then somebody bends unexpectedly. Just a little change,
You start crying when you watch this?
small to say the least. Both a little scared, neither one prepared. Beauty and the Beast. Tale as old as time, song as old as rhyme. Beauty and the Beast. Tale as old as time, song as old as rhyme. Beauty and the Beast.
This part.
Into the cupboard with your chip. It's past your bedtime.
Oh my gosh.
Good night, love.
I can't. I can't believe she's dead. I can't believe she died. Okay. Now, I need to let you know. First of all, Losai walked down here right now and he just looked at me. He goes, Dad, did you cry? Which the truth is I did. But look, here's my two thoughts that I had. Let me know if these were yours. The first thought was, that was like, at least for me, like my daughters, probably Sohaila the most, she wanted to be Belle. Like she was just Belle. Like she was nonstop Belle. Like she just was all the time in her Belle dress from like the moment she was 3 years old all the way to the moment she was 20. I'm sure she still has a bell dress on right now. I mean, actually, it's not a stretch to say that she probably drives down the road by herself singing Beauty and the Beast. So like I had all the feelings. I was just like, oh my gosh, this one just hits different. This loss just hits different. I was sad. Weren't you sad? Oh my gosh, I had all the feelings. I was just like, Lord, like be with their family. But I just selfishly was like, this was a piece of our family fabric, the fabric of our family that is no longer anymore. And it hurt, like I said. But you want to know what the second thing that I thought was? The second thing, as I posted that clip on Instagram, the second thing I thought was, and if this ain't 2022 for you, second thing I thought was, oh no, I wonder if somebody's, when I post this, is going to tell me something horrible about Angela Lansbury. Like, is someone going to tell me something that she said or like some comment that she made about a group of people? Like, is she about to get canceled after she passed away? Like I literally feared that. And then I just started getting mad. I started getting mad that like, why do we do this? Why do we do this? Every single one of us. Now listen, okay, so we're past Angela Lansbury now. She did nothing to get canceled. She literally was the queen that we thought she was. She was the saint that we thought she was. God rest her soul. Enjoy heaven. Rest in peace. All the things. Back to my soapbox. My soapbox is, why in the world do we keep canceling people? Listen, if y'all knew me, I've said this 100 times. If y'all knew me 11 years ago, y'all would have canceled me quick. Canceled. Never would have been hanging out with me. Never would have been following me. Because I was a mess, but I'm not no more. Right? Right. And we just go so quick to cancel people and not get, listen, I know there's like consequences to behaviors and actions and all of those things need to happen. But what, man, can we be the ones that pick people up? Can we? Oh, my heart breaks when I mean, I've seen it with a bunch of friends of mine already. People are just so wounded that the only thing that brings them any semblance of, to be honest with you, fake healing is to watch someone else suffer. And I can tell you from every clinical psychologist out there on planet Earth will let you know that is not the way to find freedom. That is not the way to find it. And I get it. There's people that have wounded me tremendously that there's been moments I wanted to see them suffer. But that's not ever, that's not going to be the thing that brings me healing. It's not. Forgiveness. Forgiving what you can't forget. My great friend Lisa Turkhurst wrote a book that I think would be very beneficial for anyone out there that's thinking, no, like I want to see them suffer. How did I go from Angela Lansbury, Beauty and the Beast, to this? I don't know. It's just what my brain does. But I started thinking, oh my God, is someone going to like put something up? Well, Carlos, I can't believe you're celebrating her life because she was actually a monster. No, thank God she wasn't. But then also I just was getting mad that I even had to fear that. Right? Man, we're all of us, every single one of us are cancelable. Every single one of us. You listening to this podcast right now, me spitting these words out on these microphones, we're all cancelable, right? So let's be subscribers, not cancelers. Oh, hey, how about that? How about that? Hey, Dr. Delight, hit it. Oh, so good every time it happens. Hey, what y'all think about this? I mean, y'all know every once in a while I'm just going to turn on the microphone and start talking. That's what we're doing. Hang on. Put the needle on the record and the drum beat goes like this. Hey. Oh, I've been wanting to do that for a minute. Hey, listen, thanks for hanging out on this kind of like soapbox-ish episode. Just kind of the train of thought, just letting my thoughts speak for themselves and kind of how I'm feeling. Listen, I had a long week. Y'all were with me. It's been 8 days since I've been home. I finally got home and I just felt like talking to you. So thanks for hanging out with the Human Hope Podcast, the 40-minute version of the Human Hope Podcast. I'm making these things a little shorter for you because I hear that's what you like. If you want them longer, let me know. But yeah, we're just toying with some ideas here. Friends, y'all know what to do. Please subscribe. So important. Subscribe so you don't miss an episode on Spotify, Apple Music, or follow, whatever it's called. But also, please share this podcast with your friends. Let people know that Human Hope is here for them. Hey, let's take it back, Dr. Delight. Take it back. Shh. All right. As we're down, see you next week on another episode of Human Hope. Hey!